Hi there. Welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today's yoga class is all about recovery after a long day, after an even longer week. If your body is particularly tight, note that some of the stretches are pretty deep, so don't rush in there, don't wrestle your body into submission. Allow the body the grace and the space that it needs to open up progressively. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify if need be, and feel comfortable to ease your way into child pose at any time during the class, should you need it. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to set up for today's class coming into a supine position. So ease your way down onto the mat and find your way down onto your back. Bend the knees, connect the soles of the feet, almost as if you were setting yourself up for a bridge line. Settle the weight of your body into the mat. Make the rib cage and the shoulders nice and heavy into the mat, and then float your feet into a butterfly position. Soles of the feet together, knees softly splayed out, and bring your hands into a soft prayer in front of your heart. Then start rubbing the feet and the hands together, creating a little bit of kinetic energy between the hands and the feet. Keep your chin line nice and soft. No tension in the jaw or the chin or the neck. Then relax back down to the mat, arms long and lengthened at your side, and bring the right foot up to table. Begin releasing and tracing a little circular pattern through the ankle joint, listening for any clicks, any tightness in the joint. And then move in the opposite direction, keeping your shoulders nice and heavy, keeping the ribs nice and heavy, and almost making that belly button melt right into the mat. Then still the ankle joint and bring the movement into the knee, just the kneecap, or rather the knee joint, not the cap, moving, lubricating that joint. Trace in the opposite direction. Then bring it to stillness and bring the movement into your hip. Let's move in the opposite direction. Come to stillness. Find your original position on the mat and rub into the hands and the feet. It's almost looking like a little bug lying on its back. Then come back to the mat. Bring the left knee up to table and begin releasing into the ankle. Take it in the opposite direction. Still the ankle joint and bring it into the knee. Change direction. Keep your breathing soft and gentle. Try to lengthen the inhale and the exhale so that you start relaxing the body. Still the knee and bring the movement into the hip. Change direction. Come back into your little bug-like position one last time, rubbing into the feet, rubbing into the hands. Belly button nice and heavy into the mat. And then drop the soles of your feet to the mat. Arms long and heavy at your side, or you can T-shape them if you prefer. Start with your chin line centered, softly dropping down towards your chin. Take a big breath in, filling your lungs to capacity, and on an exhale, close your eyes as you softly drop your head to the left. Pause here, releasing all your tension from the neck and the collar line. Inhale and bring your head back to center, and on a soft, almost sighing exhale, repeat to the other side. Do that one more time to each side, sighing as you release to the side. Come back to center. We're going to move through a bridge articulation and we're going to use the hands at the same time. Take a big breath in and from neutral spine, tilt your pubic bone to the 12 o'clock position. Start peeling up one vertebra at a time into your bridge line. At the same time, float the hands overhead so that the back of your hands drop to the mat overhead and pause in your bridge line. Piking your hips up nice and high towards the ceiling, making sure that your belly button is fused to your spine, hips and knees hip-width distance apart. Then float back down to your start position, syncing your arm movement so that the hands reconnect to the mat as you find neutral spine. You're going to do that twice more in your own time. Articulating up one vertebra at a time, not rushing through the movements, keeping your chin tucked firmly towards your chest, pausing at the apex of your bridge and looking for that stretch. Then softening through the legs and the bum as you float down one vertebra at a time, syncing your hand movement to come back to your start. When you're coming down on your last bridge, keep your hands overhead, shoulders heavy into the mat as you float back down, focusing on reconnecting each little nodule of the spine as you reconnect to the mat, almost rounding out and releasing before bringing yourself to neutral. Then gently drag the big toes along the mat, brace and kick into the heels, and take a little stretch into the body. Then interlace your hands, invert them, and push into the heels of your palms and the heels of your feet simultaneously. On an exhale, drag the toes along the mat, uninterlace your hands, and tuck into a little ball frame, almost as if you were trying to tap your nose towards your knees. Then ease your way back into extension, interlacing the hands, inverting them, bracing into your feet and the heels of your palms simultaneously. Exhale as you tuck back into your little ball, bracing softly on the shins, hugging the tops of your thighs in towards your chest and maybe rounding out softly through the spine. One last time, stretch it out. Wriggle around if you need to, come out through the hips. Look for those tension spots. On your last tuck, you're going to cross at the ankles, maybe holding onto the shins or reaching for the toes or the tops of your feet if you can. We're going to use a small little rocking motion to come up into a seat. And then you're gently going to rock back and forth, almost tucking the heels of your feet underneath you, rounding out through the spine as you rock back as far as your shoulder blades and back up. Make sure that you're rounding out through the spine, only rocking back as far as the shoulders before peeling back up. Then use your momentum to push forward slightly over the knees and set up a pigeon line. Bending the front leg, let's lead with the right leg in front. Reposition the foot if you need to, either knee and ankle in a straight line or tucking the heel in closer to the perineum. Then extend the other leg behind you and just gently find your way onto the palms of your hands, maybe wriggling around side to side through the shoulders and the hips. And then try to get a sense of equilibrium on the mat and even out the weight distribution between on both sides of the body so that you even through the pelvis and through the shoulders. See if you can maybe ease your way down onto the elbows, but don't collapse your frame. So push softly off the forearms. Think Sphinx, and just maybe look softly off the front of your mat as you wriggle around and try to release. Then ease your way from here onto your palms. Tuck your back toe under, bring the knee up off the floor. And that leg that's in front, softly feed it through, bracing into the foot and pushing the mat strongly away with your hands. From here, you're going to ease your way into child pose. Think of coming through 4-point kneeling. Big toes together, knees softly splayed out. Come into a long extended child. And place your forehead on the mat in front of you. If your forehead can't reach the floor, maybe reach for a block and place the block underneath your forehead so that it's acting like a little pillow. Then rock the weight off your forehead onto your right temple and pause there before rolling right through the forehead to land on your left temple. Do that one more time to each side, just rolling through, feeling for any tension spots on the head. Ease your way back to your extended child and set up your pigeon line on side 2, maybe coming into a plank and then drawing the left leg up, positioning that front leg so that the knee is either in line with your hip or a little bit wider. Find the angle on the front leg that works for you. Relax the back knee, relax the back foot, wiggle, slide, or walk it back. And then start wiggling through the shoulders and the hips. Where are you holding your tension today? Is it in the hips? Is it in the legs, glutes? Maybe it's in the shoulders or the arms. Wriggle around, look for those tension spots. Once you found it, hold it there a little bit longer. Then maybe ease your way onto the forearms. Check that you're pushing softly off the forearms, giving yourself length through the spine. So think of trying to extend from the lower back towards the nape of your neck gently. Then walk your way back onto the palms. We're going to set up that fallen triangle. Tuck your back toe under, bring the knee up off the floor. Your front leg, feed it through, bracing into the heel. Nice and strong through the shoulders, nice and strong through the core. Ease your way from here back into child. Big toes together, knees nice and open, arms long and extended in front. Find your way onto your third eye in the middle of the forehead. And then gently rock side to side, temple to temple, in one fluid motion. Making sure that there's no tension in the arms. So almost soften through your elbows and forearms so that there's no tension on your shoulders. Come back to center and ease your way into a down dog frame by finding 4-point kneeling, tucking your toes under, and then hover your knees off the floor and push back into the bum. Remember this relaxed dog. We're going to use it just now. Place it in your memory banks. Then ease your way back up, piking your bum up to the ceiling and move through the knees and the hips in Svananda. Then start morphing that motion into just a forward tracking pedal. Feeling more a stretch through the calves and the back chain of the legs. And then when you're ready, still your down dog and hold it. Piking the bum up nice and high to the ceiling, almost feeding your head through the arms and thinking of allowing your nose to track towards your kneecaps as you hold the stretch into the front and the back chain of your body. Hold that stretch, bum piked up nice and high to the ceiling. Ease your way from here back into child pose, but this time keep the feet soft and relaxed in parallel behind you as you extend the arms in front. If you need a little bit of a longer chill out, you're going to stay here in child pose. Otherwise, you're going to play with a little vinyasa, dragging the weight forward through 4-point kneeling, setting up a plank line, pausing in the plank. We're going to chaturanga down. Use the knees if you need them. Bend through the elbows, hugging the elbows in towards your ribs, hovering off the floor for a second. Drag your weight forward over the wrists and onto the bridges of your feet as you find up dog, pushing the mat away, strong through the belly. Pike your bum up to the ceiling and find your down dog. If you were in child, ease your way into a down dog frame and take a little stretch here. Take the right foot and cross it behind your left foot. Pausing here for a little stretch, trying to drop down as far as you can through the left heel so that you can feel an awesome elongating stretch up the back chain of the left leg. Then take the right leg and tuck it in front of the left. Soften through the knees. And think of coming to that relaxed dog, tucking your right leg into the figure 4 position and hovering the knee off the floor. If that feels uncomfortable, come to 4-point kneeling and manually place your foot in position. Tuck your toes under, try to hover your figure 4 position off the floor, and then push back into your bum, thinking of that relaxed dog we played with earlier. Then relax the knee to the floor. You can keep your back toes tucked under or relax. And think of sitting back and just pushing back into your bum, almost as if you were taking a child stretch here, trying to get your bum to meet your heel, but not quite getting there. Then tuck your back toe under and come into a down dog frame, trying to hold that figure 4 position. Keep pushing the right kneecap away from you as you hold that figure 4 stretch. From here, you're going to set yourself up into a pigeon line once more. So just bring that front leg forward. Relax the back knee and foot. Slide, creep, or walk away. And then this time, as you come down onto the elbows, wriggle around, find your place on the mat. Maybe extend the arms out in front and relax your forehead to the mat. Wriggle through those areas of tension and then just settle your body in. Trying to connect to your inner gyroscope. Try to square up through the shoulders and the hips on both sides so that you're not dropping lower on one side. Ease your way gently onto the forearms once more. And then float the left arm in so that it's parallel to the front of your mat. You're resting on the forearm. You're going to take a big sweeping twist to the right, opening up your right fingertips to the ceiling and just pausing here. Maybe allowing that front heel to gently dig into your lower viscera and give it a little massage. Ease your way softly back on to the forearms. And maybe find your way back onto the hands. Then maybe sit up nice and tall. Hands maybe just a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Take a little walk of your right hand to where your left hand is, and then look over that back shoulder for that back leg. Maybe bend the knee. If you can, reach back for the foot and gently hug it in. As you hug it in, try not to tense through the bum, the hamstring, and the quad. So soften up and then start pulling up along the inner thighs and the lower abs towards your chest line, and see if you can maybe grab opposite hand to foot. If that feels good, take the other arm, tuck it behind your back, maybe reaching the fingertips for your hip bone or your inner thigh. If binding to the foot is not happening for you, play or stop where you're comfortable. You could also tuck a block underneath your bum cheek on the right for just a little bit of support on the mat. Remember, play where you're comfortable. Then slowly unbind. The leg that's tucked underneath you, You're going to slide your weight onto that right bum cheek. So if you did have a block underneath your right bum, just move it out of the way and sit back onto your right bum. Reach back for that leg. Swing it over your front knee, grounding the whole foot into the mat. All of your weight is now going to be on your right bum bone. So readjust, slide your right foot out the way so that both bum bones can firmly connect to the mat, and take a little twist to the left, maybe tucking your elbow to the outside of your knee, maybe making a little stop sign with that hand, pushing with the back of your hand against the knee, or maybe electing to lengthen that top arm and reach with your fingertips for the edge of the mat. Keep looking over the back shoulders if somebody was standing behind you and you were trying to take a gentle peek at them. Peel your way gently back to center. The foot that's closest to your bum, tuck it right underneath you, trying to tuck it between the bum cheeks and sitting your bum cheeks around the foot if you can, as you extend the other leg out in front of you. If this feels really uncomfortable, maybe reach for a block and tuck it underneath your bum cheek on the left so that you can square up nicely through the hips. Take a big breath in, situate yourself if you need to, wriggle around and find your seat on the mat. Getting an awesome stretch into the foot that's tucked underneath you. Place your fingertips on the mat and then gently start creeping your fingers forward and just try to find your way into a soft forward fold. Maybe palms on the mat, maybe forearms on the mat, maybe stacking on your shin or the thigh, or reaching for the undercarriage of your foot. You could use a belt or a strap around the foot, or just take the block, place it on the inside of your calf, and just find a comfortable lean-in position. Wherever you decide to play, close your eyes, take your focus in, look for stillness, and just drape your torso nice and heavy down, as if you were trying to get your knee to meet your nose. Head to knee, Janu Sirsasana modification. Then gently peel up along the center line, swing back, reposition yourself towards the back end of the mat if you're really tall, easing your way back into child pose. Big toes together, knees open nice and wide, arms long and extended in front. Reconnect your forehead to the mat and gently begin that little temple rock side to side. Noticing your breath pattern. If it's short and choppy, try to lengthen and extend your breaths so that you start relaxing and releasing the body. Ease your way into a down dog frame. First, find your relaxed dog, tucking your toes under, hovering the knees and pushing your bum back towards your heels. Remember it when you need to come into that figure four. Then ease your butt up to the ceiling, start moving dynamically through the knees and the hips. Then start modifying your movement and start giving me more of a pedal or a walk, keeping the knees tracking forward as you bend one leg and extend the other, keeping the bum piked up nice and high. Then still your dog and take a little stretch here. Working the front and the back chain of the body simultaneously, almost feeding the head through the arms as if you were trying to gravitate your nose towards your kneecaps. Trying to drop as much weight through the heels of your feet as you can comfortably manage. Ease your way to child pose this time, feet soft and relaxed and parallel behind you as you extend the arms in front. Stay here if you need to, or play with the little vinyasa by easing your way into a plank line, nice and strong as you find your plank. Bend the elbows. If you need to, use the knees for support when you chaturanga down. Hovering your body off the mat for a second, then dragging the weight forward over your wrists onto the bridges of your feet, pushing up nice and strong, stretch into the lower belly and the arms. Pike your bum up to the ceiling and find your down dog one more time. If you were a child, ease your way into the down dog frame, and then take the left foot and tuck it behind the right. Just softly crossing behind the heel and then holding the stretch there. Wiggling around if you need to look for those tension spots and then hold where you're feeling the maximum stretch. Keep your breathing long, lengthened, and relaxed. Then take your left leg, tuck it in front of the right, soft drape as you bend through the knee and start coming into a relaxed dog, almost hovering that knee off the floor and tucking into your figure four. If you need to relax to the knee and manually adjust yourself into figure four, then tuck under and try to hover that knee off the floor. Then push the weight back into your bum. Hold there or drop the knee to the floor and stretch back. Just see what feels the most comfortable for you. And you might find that side to side, the stretch feels different. Then ease your way into a down dog frame and try to hold that figure four stretch. Hold, hold. You're going to ease your way from here back into your pigeon line. Drape that back leg long and lengthened. Wriggle around. Maybe bringing it down onto the elbows. Maybe coming into full extension. Electing to stay low or coming into a high pigeon line. Arms nice and wide on the mat. Creep your left hand over to where your right fingertips are. Look over the right shoulder for that leg that's draped on the mat behind you. Bend the knee, bring the foot up. Soften through the quad, the glute and the hamstring as you hug that foot in. Use your inner thighs, use your core, see if you can reach around, maybe grabbing opposite hand to foot, and then just tuck the other arm behind your back or reach for the inner thigh depending on how open the body is feeling. And remember that your body is different day to day. Never judge what it's giving you. Just play with whatever you have on the mat for today. When you're ready to unbind, if you did have a block underneath your bum cheek on the left, slip it out now and then lean the weight into the left bum cheek as you reach for that back leg. Swing it over your front knee as you come into position. Firmly ground the heel, the big toe, and the baby toe. Check that you're not leaning all of your weight into one side, so push back into the opposite heel and then twist, anchoring elbow to knee. Maybe making a little stop sign with your hand, or maybe electing to extend the arm. Make sure that you have both of your bum bones grounded into the mat. So shift that bottom foot out of the way if you need to connect both bum cheeks to the mat. Sit up nice and tall in your half Lord of the Fishes, Ardha Matsyendrasana. Think length through the spine. From here, you're going to find your way into that modification of head to knee. Extend the right leg out and tuck the left foot underneath you. Wriggle around. Try to situate your bum cheeks over the heel. Place your fingertips just softly on the mat, either side of the lead leg, and then begin your forward creep. Creeping forward, maybe dropping down onto the forearms, or maybe just stacking on the shin or the thigh, or reaching for the undercarriage of your foot. Play with your block, maybe hooking it around the foot or placing it on the inside of the ankle or the calf, and just finding a comfortable lean-in position. Close your eyes, take your focus in wherever you decide to play. Relax and release the lower back, make your chest heavy to the floor. Almost try to visualize the lower back and the sacrum area just lengthening, sinking back towards the floor. Ease your way from here into child pose, maybe placing both hands on the inside of the right leg, swinging back. Ease your way into child, feet soft and relaxed and parallel behind you. Taking a nice little extended stretch here, staying here, or playing with the vinyasa by coming through a plank line. Chaturanga down with control. Drag the weight forward over your wrists and your toes, setting up a little up dog stretch, pushing the mat away nice and strong through the lower belly and the core, and then pike your bum up to the ceiling and find your down dog. If you were in child, ease your way into the down dog frame. We're going to come into a three-legged dog on the right. Soften the right knee and kick up the right leg behind you. Try not to pop and rotate on this one. Keep square through the shoulders and the hips and keep bracing through the heels of both feet so that you're feeling an awesome stretch on both legs. Keep piking as and high to the ceiling. Hold for a few breaths here, and then we'll set up our fallen triangle one more time. Think knee to nose on the right as you come through a plank line. Pause, and then feed the leg across the midline of the body and bump the weight softly into your right hip while pushing the mat strongly away with your arms and keeping your core softly braced. Give me a few more breaths here. Then we'll set up a lizard line, Uttan Pristhasana, on the right. Feed the right leg to the outside of the right hand. Relax the back knee, relax the back foot. Make sure that both of your hands are underneath your shoulders. Then focus on your front foot. Take it out to 45, creep it slightly forward and try to knife edge the foot. Gently rock the weight side to side through the hips and the shoulders. And then come to stillness, trying to keep that front foot knife edged. Take the right palm and push on the inside of the right knee, gently looking over that right shoulder, wriggling around as much as you need to or holding steady as you gently open through the groin area on the right. Then ease your way from here onto the elbows. If you can't comfortably come to the elbows, maybe reach for a block or two. Place them on the floor in front of you, playing with the dimensions of the block, and maybe finding a comfortable forearm lean position. You could even interlace the hands, making a little fist, and then find a comfortable chill position here. Try not to drop your head to the floor, so push softly off the forearms. Think Sphinx and try to lengthen through your spine. Tuck the back toe under. See if you can bring the knee up off the floor. And then drag the weight forwards and backwards on the back foot. The back stroke is your active work and hold. Pause there for as long as you can, and then use the forward stroke as your light relief before pushing back. Trying to keep that front foot knife edge the whole time that you play. Think of that long Sphinx line on the mat. Ease your way onto your palms, holding that lizard stretch. From here, you're going to come back into your pigeon line. So readjust your front foot. Find your pigeon line. Relax the back knee. Relax the back foot. Ease your way back onto the forearms. Think Sphinx. Wriggle around if you need to find relief through the hips. Then bring the left arm in so that it's parallel to the front of the mat and take a big sweeping arc to the right. Maybe floating the arm behind your back, using the middle index finger and thumb to try to give me a big toe lock, a Parangustasana lock around the big toe. Keep rotating that top shoulder away from you, peeking either gently up towards the ceiling or towards the back edge of your mat. If you can't bind to the foot, just tuck the arm behind your back as best you can. Enjoying that little massage on the front heel, aiding peristalsis, toning the lower organs. Gently come out of your pigeon bind, finding your way back onto the forearms. We're going to come into a double pigeon, Agni Stambhasana. Relax onto your right bum cheek. Think Sukhasana, but square up the feet. So you're not tucking the heels in towards your perineum. As you sit on the right cheek, I want you to square up the right leg. So you've got knee over ankle. Then reach for the back leg. Overlay that on your front leg. So you've got knee over ankle on either side. Look through your feet. You shouldn't be able to see the heels of your feet. There should be a little triangle between the legs. If this feels really uncomfortable, place your fingertips on the mat behind you and just gently lean forward. For most people, it'll feel like the left knee wants to keep gravitating up to the ceiling, especially if you're particularly tight through the hips and the hip flexors. You could even take your left hand and just gently push the knee away from you as you come into position. If you're really comfortable in this position, just softly drape yourself forward, maybe connecting your forearms to the mat, but check that you are actually in the double pigeon position and not in easy pose or half lotus. If you find that your legs don't want to bind in this position at all, just come to a comfortable cross-legged seated position, tucking one leg in front of the other. Peel up. Take the top leg, step it over the front knee, and come back into your half lord. This time, as you tuck the elbow to the outside of the knee, push with the back of your elbow against the knee and just hug your bum as you use the back arm as a soft prop, pushing off the arm, but not locking out the elbow or the shoulder. So keep a micro bend in the back arm. A few more breaths here. Then we're going to come back to head to knee, but we'll change the stretch slightly. Unbind from the twist and extend the left leg out in front while bringing the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left leg. Just sit up nice and tall here. Then maybe drop your fingertips to the mat. Creep your way forward. Maybe onto the forearms, maybe reaching for the foot, maybe draping on the shin or the thigh. Use your strap. Use your block if you need it. Find a drape that works for you. Slow your breathing. Relax and soften through all of the muscles. Try not to tense up. Peel gently up along the center way and take your right foot, trying to bring it into the half lotus line. Don't think figure four. Try to bring the heel in as close towards the opposite hip bone as you can so that it's almost tucked into the crease of your leg. Sit up nice and tall. And if this feels really uncomfortable, it might help to rotate the inner thigh out on the extended leg and just relax that limb. Then maybe take the right hand, place it on the inside of the right knee and just gently push down on that inner thigh, trying to coax the thigh open. So don't worry about the proximity of the knee to the floor. Just focus on that beautiful stretch that's happening on the inside of the right hip bone, feeding into the groin area. Stay or play. To play, gently place your hands on the mat, folding softly forward, keeping that half lotus line, maybe creeping forward and reaching for your foot or draping on the top of your thigh. Getting a beautiful little massage into the lower organs. Then gently unbind, extend both legs long and lengthened in front. Give them a little shake up. You might need to bring blood supply back into that right knee first. Release through the ankles and the knees and come into a double forward fold, Paschimottanasana, maybe running or brushing the hands down the top of your thighs, aiming for your feet. Maybe you can curl around them, or maybe you're dropping onto the forearms or stacking on the shins, or using your block between the two calves or the ankles, finding a lean in position, or maybe hooking your strap or your block around the foot or the feet and tugging in. Play where you're comfortable, pick your poison, close your eyes, take your focus in, relax. Keep your breathing long, relaxed. Peel up gently, sweeping the legs underneath you. Ease your way into child pose. Make sure you've got enough runway in front, feet soft and relaxed and parallel behind you. Staying here in child or using the vinyasa, easing your way into plank line, bending through the elbows, hovering off the floor before setting up your up dog, nice and strong as you come into the up dog, and then piking your bum up as you come into down dog. If you were in child, ease your way into the down dog frame and hold it. When you're ready, set up your three-legged dog on the left. Bend the left knee, kick up that left leg behind you, keeping square through the shoulders and the hips. Pause here for a beat, really trying to lengthen through the heels of both legs. Then set up your fallen triangle. Think knee to nose on the left, then feed the legs through. Pushing into that foot and almost bumping the weight into your left hip, but not collapsing the frame on the left, if that makes sense. So keeping nice and strong through the frame, or just bumping softly into the left hip and feel that stretch intensify. Pause here for a beat before we play in lizard on the left. When you're ready, bring the leg through to the other side, creeping it to the outside of your left hand. Relax the back knee, relax the back foot. Take the foot out to 45, creep it slightly forward, knife edge the foot, and then just wriggle side to side through the shoulders, the hips, and the lead leg, looking for those little tension spots, those owie spots. Hold the stretch, maybe using your right palm to gently push the knee away, looking over the shoulder towards the wall. Staying here or easing your way down onto the elbows. Try to keep that front foot knife edged. Use the block underneath the elbows if you need to. Don't collapse your head to the floor. So think soft Sphinx line, almost just looking towards the top edge of your mat if you can. Then see if you can tuck the back toe under. Bring the knee up off the floor and begin a gentle, almost seesawing motion back and forth. Progressively making the backstroke longer and using that as your active stretch before using the forestroke as your light comic relief. Keep your belly button softly pulled into center, so no muffin top bellies hanging on the floor. Then hold the backstroke. Try to pause here for a beat or two. Hold that backstroke as you make your way onto the palms. Keep pushing back into the back heel or rock if you need to. Holding your high lizard line. Ease your way from here back into a pigeon line. So readjust the front foot, tucking it in. Relax your back, knee and leg. Slide or walk it away. Ease your way down onto the forearms, wriggling around if you need to find those tension spots. And then floating the right arm in so that it's parallel to the front of the mat. Take a big sweeping arc with the left arm, tucking the arm behind your back, maybe reaching with the middle index finger and thumb for that big toe on the lead leg. Keep looking over the back shoulder, gently peeking up to the ceiling, or maybe looking towards the back end of your mat as if somebody was standing there. Hold here for a couple of breaths, and then we'll tuck into that double pigeon line, Agnisthambasana. If double pigeon doesn't work for you, just tuck into an easy sit of your choice. Reconnect your forearms to the mat and then ease your way onto the palms. Sit down onto your left bum cheek and focus on the front leg. So just relax the back leg. Think of squaring up the knee and the ankle and then swinging the back leg around, thinking foot over knee, knee over foot. Look through the feet. Check that you can't see the heels peeking out. Maybe just leaning the weight forward. That might give you enough of a stretch, or take the right palm and gently push the right knee away while leaning the weight forward. If this feels comfortable, you might want to come into a full drape, dropping your elbows to the floor while holding your double pigeon. Play where you're comfortable. You're going to give me a few more breaths here, and then we'll set up that seated half Lord of the Fishes. Peel up along the center line. Take the top leg, cross over the knee of the bottom leg, anchoring the whole foot into the mat. Make sure you're not leaning all of the weight into one bum cheek. So wiggle the other foot out the way. Make sure you're grounding through both feet. Then twist opposite elbow to knee, using your elbow to push against the knee, and just hug your bum or your hip with the arm as you come into your half Lord of the Fishes this time. Make sure both bum bones are equally weighted into the mat. Give me a soft micro bend on the back arm. Lengthen through the spine as much as you can. And then unwind, look towards the front of your mat. Extend the right leg and place the sole of the foot on the inside of the left leg. Sit up nice and tall, and then maybe just place your fingertips on the mat and creep them softly forward, coming into your forward fold. Maybe just draping on the forearms, or maybe on your shin or your thigh, or reaching for the undercarriage of your foot, or using your belt or your block to hook around the foot, or maybe using the block on the inside of the leg and finding a comfortable lean-in position. Close your eyes, take your focus in, visualize the lower back softening, relaxing, and releasing as you gently drape forward. Keep your breathing soft and relaxed, trying to lengthen the inhalation and the exhalation. Peel up along the center line and try to tuck into that half lotus line on the left, bringing the left heel in as close towards the inside of the right hip bone as you can. Maybe using your left hand to gently push the knee away, allowing your right foot to splay out if you need to. Just chill here for a couple of breaths as best you can, either electing to stay here or draping forward into your forward fold, trying to bind around the extended leg if you can. Beautiful little stretch into the top of that foot that's braced on the top of your thigh. And for some people, it feels really uncomfortable in the beginning. You might not have a lot of mobility in the ankle, and it might feel pretty painful. So just play where you're comfortable. You could always tuck a block underneath your knee on your supportive side to alleviate some of the tension into the ankle joint. Peel up, extend both legs out in front of you, maybe giving them a little shake out, just bring blood supply back into the knee and the ankle. So if you need to, you can give me a little circular release into the ankle. Think of what we did right in the beginning of the class. Sit up nice and tall, and then just ease your way onto the elbows. Oh no, we forgot our little forward fold, my bad. Come into a double forward fold, Paschimottanasana, draping yourself around the heels. Maybe interlacing your hands and hooking them around, or maybe forearms on the floor or on your shins, or maybe just the top of your thighs, or use your belt, use your strap, use your block. Do what feels good for you. Give yourself a couple of long, relaxed breaths here. And then when you're ready, peel up, ragdoll style, and find your way onto the elbows, just leaning off the tailbone to find your way onto the elbows first, lengthening your chest up towards the ceiling. If you're on the tall side, maybe creep to the bottom of your mat, and then just ease your way into a supine position, lying comfortably on your back. We're going to come into Shavasana. Allow the feet to softly splay out. Arms at your sides at 45, palms up to the ceiling. Maybe lift both shoulder blades off the mat, tuck them behind you like little wings, and then settle the whole weight of your body into the mat. Close your eyes, take your focus in. If you need to, you could even drape a towel over your eyes to darken the room if it's too bright. Keep your eyes closed for the next couple of minutes as we run through a little Nidra exercise. Maybe wiggle your hips side to side as you settle the weight of your body into the mat. And then focus on your right leg. Pretend somebody's tugging on your right big toe and lengthen, almost as if you wanted to pop out of the hip joint and lengthen that limb from your hip socket to the big toe on the right. Then relax the whole limb, long and lengthened, on the mat. Pretend somebody's tugging on your left big toe. Lengthen through that entire limb. Feel the little tug on the ball and the socket joint in the hip. Relax that whole limb, long and lengthened, into the mat. Pretend that somebody's grabbing you around the top of band of your chest. Arc slightly through the spine, growing your ribs up towards the ceiling, and try to lengthen the trunk away from your hip bones. Then relax the whole trunk, making your rib cage heavy into the mat and making your belly button heavy into the mat. Then focus on your spinal column. Think of softly tilting your tailbone to the 12 o'clock position, almost rounding out your spine, hollowing out your belly, trying to imprint your lower back and the lower ribs, make them nice and heavy into the mat. Then relax the whole spine like a long, limp piece of spaghetti on the mat. Focus on your right hand. Pretend that somebody's tugging on your right hand. Lengthen through the arm and feel the little tug on your shoulder joint, on the ball and the socket joint there. Then relax the whole limb, long and lengthened, into the mat. And focus on your left hand. Somebody's tugging the hand. Feel the arm lengthening, feel the tug on your socket joint. Relax. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, softly flop your head to the left and pause here. Release all of the tension from your neck and your collar line and your jawline. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale to drop to the right. Release the tension from your neck, from your jawline, bleeding into the collar line. Inhale to gently bring your chin back to neutral. Then think of arcing through the back of your neck as if you wanted to take the chin up to the ceiling. And on a big exhale, nod your chin to your chest, releasing that little tension spot at the nape of your neck and keeping your chin nice and soft. Then visualize your whole body as a block of ice. Pretend that somebody's pouring boiling water over that block of ice and see the block of ice beginning to melt from the crown of your head down towards your collar line, bleeding towards the fingertips. Then from your collar and chest line down through the pelvis, through the knees, making its way to the very tips of your toes, till your block of ice is totally melted and just one big puddle of water. Feel your breathing becoming soft, relaxed, and released. Stay here, totally chilled and relaxed. Body soft. Chin line dropped softly down. End of your practice for today. By softly nodding your chin to your chest and whispering the words Shanti, peace. Stay here for as long as you need to, and when you're ready to come out of Shavasana, maybe softly bend your knees, connecting the soles of your feet to the mat as if you were setting up a bridge line. If you're feeling the lower back, maybe hugging your knees in gently towards your chest, bracing around the knees or the shins and gently cradle rocking your lower back out. And then to find your way back into an upright position, maybe roll over onto your one side, preferably onto the right side of your body in a soft fetal pose, maybe using the bottom arm as a long or a big pillow, and just staying here for a couple of gentle breath cycles. Keeping your body totally soft and pliant. And then when you're ready to come up, push into that top hand. Make sure that you bring your head up last. Just give your blood pressure a chance to stabilize, maybe easing your way into a seated frame before you come to standing. Thank you so much for coming out and for playing with me on the mat today. I really hope that you enjoyed today's class. Give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Remember to share with me your comments and your feedback, either using the YouTube display or popping me a WhatsApp or an email. Remember to subscribe with your notifications on, even if you aren't joining us daily on the mat. Being subscribed to the channel gives you access to the Pick of the Week class that is made public every week. I shall see you all on Monday. Have an amazing weekend. Till then, keep it light.